Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Erica Nelson, Manager of Customer Success here at Responsive. AI has been a really hot topic in the industry, as we all know. And today I have the honor of hosting Hannah Cook, Head of Bids at Maintel, to hear about how they're using AI every day. Hi, Hannah. Thanks so much for joining us today. Why don't you start out and telling us a little bit about yourself and the team at Maintel?
Hi, thanks for having me. Um, okay, so just kicking off with Maintel. We are a UK-based company that sells communication solutions. This is across the UCaaS, CCaaS, and secure connectivity markets to public and private sector customers across the UK.
That's an incredible space to operate in. Can you share a bit about your team and the bids and tenders that you respond to?
So I have a team of five, and we have kind of different levels of the team. So we've got two senior bid managers, two bid managers, and one bid coordinator. So as you can imagine, we have a lot of bids and proposals and everything across that space that we respond to. And as I mentioned before, we work with both public and private sector customers. So focus industries for us are healthcare, anything public sector related. So councils, universities, schools, and then um, industries such as like financial services, industries like that.
Mentioning that you responded to government bids, for those that might not be familiar, who are listening to us, can you describe what the process looks like in the UK?
Yeah, of course. So essentially what the government in the UK does is it will go out to market across a load of different kind of areas. These areas are called frameworks, and within those frameworks we have different lots. So for example, the framework network services 3, which is also known as RM6116 in the UK, is one of our kind of biggest frameworks that we operate within. um, Now within this, so we kind of receive leads, or we've got customers that have got bids on those frameworks, so we have to kind of comply with those framework agreements to kind of get onto those lots. And then essentially what we do within this is there's a lot, as I say, there's a lot more compliance requirements, such as social value, which is where we have to kind of give back to the community, which is obviously a great initiative. And we have a lot more scoring requirements within public sector tenders, because it's essentially a fairer market to drive down prices for public sector customers. So there's a lot of, it's more kind of heavily marked on the scoring criteria side versus the private sector piece. Um, so, for example, you could have a bid that's 60% quality, which is your solution, your implementation piece, and then 30% price or 10% social value and things like that. So the modeling of the bids is different from when you're looking at the private sector space.
Thanks so much for sharing that. And it sounds interesting, but also thank you for letting everyone see that while response management processes may differ from region to region and country to country, that ultimately there's still universal truths, right, that cross those geographic boundaries. Now, what I would like to kind of dig into a little bit is that everybody's leaning into AI these days. What was the trigger for you to get started with responsive AI?
So within the past year at Maintel, they've invested heavily in implementing a new business function. So the new business function, a lot of their pipeline was coming from bids and tenders. So this could have been kind of leads that have come from cold leads that have come from those frameworks that I mentioned previously, or it could be inbound leads, or leads from events and things like that that the SDRs have created. Um, so because of that, we have been driving a far higher number of bids through the team. And we thought that the use of AI would speed up for the team to get from kind of an initial documents coming through the door to an initial version 1 that then we can work with the SMEs to kind of refine. Um, and obviously that then has a follow-on impact on the SME's time, and they can kind of focus on other things instead of focusing as much on the V1. So it's a higher efficiency, higher output, less resource required approach that we've kind of taken.
Oh, that's great. Can you share information around how your team is actively using responsive AI to get to that V1 more quickly?
Yeah, of course. So when we're well, as I say, when we get the bids through, what we will do is run them as a project through Responsive. We'll use the AI tool to pull information from the content library, um, and essentially generate that initial V1. Um, and obviously, well, not obviously, but you've got the you've got the ability within the AI tool to cite the sources. So if there's something that doesn't make sense, or if you're if you're a bit, where did that come from? Not really sure. You click on the reference within the AI piece, and it kind of takes you to that original document. And I think when we've been using it as well, it's highlighted gaps in our content library. So when we've asked the AI tool something and it's kind of pulled something that's maybe outdated or something, we can quickly then update it and it pulls the correct information through.
Great. And you mentioned the content library, so that leads me into my next question. If we look at your content library, what do you feel like is the relationship between AI and it?
So when we were looking at implementing AI, we had to get the library into a good place. So when I first started at Maintel, the use of responsive was kind of very much in the early stages. So we've been through a big integration process into the business. We've run training sessions for teams. All the content is now tagged appropriately. It's got SMEs assigned to each kind of piece of content. We have regular reviews in place. So the content is also cleaned up to avoid duplication, but it's obviously been a hard process to implement. People like doing things in their own way. So it's bringing everyone in line but a lot, teams have realized the efficiencies of these things. And yeah, it's been really, really helpful.
That's good. It sounds like you're getting some great buy-in. You mentioned the review process, but what steps are you taking to ensure that your content library serves you into the future?
So, as I mentioned, we do have regular reviews in process. So, I mean, an example of that is I used the AI tool the other day on a bid that I was working on, and the SME I asked to review. He basically came back and said, "This is outdated. Where did you get this from?" So we managed to find the original response, change it, and then the AI kind of pulled through the updated information. So the AI tool is only going to pull through the information that you've got in your library. So the AI is only going to be as good as your library is.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great point to emphasize, right? Overall, it's only as good as the information that's put into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
What benefits are you seeing from your usage of responsive AI?
When we're using the AI function to help us generate a version one, we are massively shortening the time for us to get to a good version one response. So using the tool to Um, using the tool essentially it lessens the time that SMEs need to take with the bids, which frees up resource to do other things. And also, as I mentioned, as part of the public sector process, we have scoring criteria that we have to meet. And the using the AI to speed up to get us to a good version one means that we've got good time to review in depth to make sure we're meeting that scoring criteria, which has improved our quality scoring, especially.
That's great. And you've also saved a lot of time, I'm assuming, too, for your teams, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, kind of a year on year statistic, I guess. So, last year we submitted about 48 bids, and then this year we've already submitted 46. So, we're looking about a 25% year on year growth.
That's great. And it sounds like you're really experiencing the target impact of responsive AI, which is ultimately to empower proposal management teams to utilize resources and content that they already have to take the heavy lifting out of the first drafts of their RFP responses. One question that comes up often that I'm curious about is How did you help build trust around AI within your organization?
So the process for us was, I mean, the idea of the process was to get a more efficient bid process so that we could respond to more tenders, so that we could increase our pipeline. And what we essentially did was we had a trial period using the AI tool, um, which was very successful. We ran through some previous tenders through the AI tool, which myself, and the head of new business, we both ran those projects, and we were very happy with the results. We came to a bit of a stumbling block with legal, who advised that essentially, we might have to caveat the response in our, well, caveat the idea in the documents that talks to, um, you know, this has been made by AI type thing. But we kind of said to legal and said to get around this, we don't need to do that, because the use of the AI tool is getting us to a position where we've got a version one much faster than just purely human, I guess. So this, it's not going to be the final document that goes out the door. It's simply an initial draft that's going to be reviewed by humans to make sure everything is correct.
Wow, thanks so much for sharing that look into the impact for your organization, Hannah. My final question for you today is truly around social impact, as you've mentioned it a few times. What's your team doing with the time savings that they have from using AI?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, as part of the public sector bidding model, we have to essentially meet requirements for social value, and that kind of falls within different categories. It might be something to do with well-being, carbon reduction, environmental, helping people get back into work, those kind of areas. So. We've been able to spend some time really delving deep into a project on social value, ensuring we've got the content, the resources, a really strong process in place that we know when a bid comes through, we know who we need to engage, we know what we can offer based on the type of deal we're going for. So yeah, it's enabled us to really push forward our social value offering massively over the past kind of 4 or 5 months.
Well, that's awesome, and a great note on which to close our conversation today. So, thank you so much, Hannah, for sharing your insights and allowing everyone to learn more about how your team is transforming how it works by using AI.
Thank you.